Caterpie, a common bug-type Pokémon, thrives in lush and verdant environments within the Pokémon world. Its natural habitat comprises dense forests, grassy meadows, and areas teeming with foliage. In these idyllic settings, Caterpie finds an abundant supply of its primary sustenance, tree leaves. This docile and gentle Pokémon is known for its peaceful demeanor. It spends most of its time feasting on leaves, a process facilitated by its specialized mouthparts designed for herbivorous consumption. Caterpie's life revolves around the daylight hours, as it is primarily diurnal and rests during the night. When Caterpie isn't indulging in its leafy diet, it engages in a fascinating activity, using its silk-producing glands to spin delicate threads, akin to silk caterpillars. These silk threads serve multiple functions in its daily life. Foremost among them is the creation of a silk cocoon, an essential step in its transformation into a chrysalis. Caterpie's silk threads also become its mode of mobility. It deftly swings from tree branches and descends safely from heights using these silken strands. Moreover, these threads serve as a swift escape mechanism, helping Caterpie elude potential threats and navigate its habitat with agility. Although Caterpie isn't inherently aggressive, it boasts a simple yet effective defense mechanism. Its distinctive, bright red antennae can secrete a foul-smelling fluid, deterring potential adversaries and ensuring its safety. In the wild, Caterpie often forms small groups or clusters with others of its kind, allowing them to travel and forage together. This social behavior not only provides some protection against predators but also enhances Caterpie's efficiency in finding sustenance. Caterpie's existence in the Pokémon world is characterized by its harmonious coexistence with nature, its affinity for leaves, and its remarkable silk-spinning abilities. This behavior and habitat contribute to its unique place within the Pokémon ecosystem. Caterpie's physical appearance plays a crucial role in aiding its survival within its natural habitat and the Pokémon world. Its verdant green hue serves as a remarkable form of camouflage, allowing the Pokémon to blend seamlessly with the leaves and vegetation of its forested and meadow environments. When Caterpie remains motionless among the foliage, it becomes nearly invisible to potential predators, who may unknowingly pass it by. The segmented body of Caterpie is not merely for locomotion but also serves as a defensive adaptation. Each segment is connected by flexible joints, granting Caterpie impressive mobility and agility. This flexibility is vital for navigating through dense vegetation and escaping swiftly when danger approaches. When faced with a threat, Caterpie can curl up into a tight ball, presenting a spiky and less palatable exterior to potential predators. Caterpie's bright red antennae, while striking, are also practical. These antennae serve a dual purpose. First and foremost, they are sensory organs, capable of detecting subtle changes in its environment, including vibrations, temperature, and humidity. This sensory ability helps Caterpie respond swiftly to threats or changing conditions. Second, Caterpie can employ its antennae as a means of defense. When threatened, it can release a noxious, foul-smelling fluid from these antennae, deterring potential predators. In addition to these adaptations, Caterpie possesses specialized mouthparts designed for efficient leaf consumption. These powerful mandibles enable it to chew through tough plant matter, ensuring it can extract essential nutrients from leaves effectively. Caterpie's selective feeding habits further enhance its survival. It seeks out tender leaves, which are easier to digest and offer higher nutrient content, maximizing its energy intake from its herbivorous diet. Caterpie possesses a unique silk-producing ability, which it uses in various ways to navigate its daily life in the Pokémon world. Here are the distinctive characteristics of Caterpie's silk-producing ability and its practical applications. Caterpie's silk-producing glands, typically located within its abdomen, are specialized organs that produce a sticky and durable silk thread. This silk thread is a versatile tool that plays a crucial role in Caterpie's survival and daily activities. One of the most vital uses of Caterpie's silk is the construction of a protective cocoon. As Caterpie grows and prepares to evolve, it spins a sturdy cocoon using its silk. This cocoon serves as a secure shelter during its transformation into a chrysalis. Inside the cocoon, it undergoes metamorphosis and eventually emerges as a butterfly. Caterpie's silk threads are also employed for mobility. It can use its silk like a rope to swing from tree branches or to lower itself safely from heights. This ability aids in its navigation of its habitat and escaping from potential threats. In addition to shelter and mobility, Caterpie uses its silk for communication within its group. By vibrating or tugging on silk threads, Caterpie can send signals to other Caterpie nearby. This form of communication helps coordinate group activities, such as foraging or responding to danger. Caterpie's silk threads may also be used for setting simple traps. It can create sticky snares by spinning silk threads between branches or leaves. These snares can capture unsuspecting prey or serve as a means of defense against predators. When directly threatened by predators, Caterpie may release silk from its face to ensnare its attacker, hindering their movement and allowing Caterpie to escape. This silk acts as a defensive mechanism, providing Caterpie with a chance to evade danger. In summary, Caterpie's silk-producing ability is a versatile and essential tool in its daily life. It aids in constructing protective cocoons, facilitating movement, setting traps, and communicating with others of its kind. This adaptation enhances Caterpie's chances of survival and plays a pivotal role in its growth and development as it progresses through its life stages in the Pokémon world. Caterpie's diet and feeding habits are essential contributors to its growth and development throughout its life cycle. Here's how its dietary preferences and habits play a significant role. Caterpie is primarily herbivorous, meaning it primarily consumes plant matter. Its diet consists mainly of leaves, particularly those of trees and other plants found in its natural habitat. This herbivorous diet is rich in cellulose and plant nutrients. Caterpie's mouthparts are specifically adapted for leaf consumption. It has strong, sharp mandibles that enable it to efficiently chew through leaves, breaking down the tough cellulose fibers. The Pokémon is known for its voracious appetite and continuous feeding habits. It can consume large quantities of leaves daily. This constant feeding provides Caterpie with a consistent source of energy and nutrients necessary for growth. Caterpie's digestive system is adept at extracting nutrients from plant matter. It possesses enzymes and specialized gut bacteria that help break down complex carbohydrates and cellulose, allowing it to absorb essential nutrients from its leafy diet. As Caterpie feeds and accumulates nutrients, it undergoes a series of molting stages. During molting, Caterpie sheds its old exoskeleton and emerges with a larger, more developed one. This process allows it to grow in size and maturity. Caterpie stores excess energy from its plant-based diet in the form of fat deposits. These energy reserves are essential during its metamorphic stages, such as when it transforms into a chrysalis and eventually a butterfree. The Pokémon's foraging behavior is also crucial for its survival and growth. It actively searches for tender leaves that are easier to digest, avoiding tougher and less nutritious foliage. This selective feeding helps maximize nutrient intake. Caterpie's herbivorous diet and its ability to efficiently process plant matter are fundamental to its growth and development. Continuous feeding, nutrient assimilation, and energy storage enable Caterpie to progress through its life stages and ultimately evolve into a more advanced form, fulfilling its role in the Pokémon world's ecological cycle. Caterpie's evolution into Metapod is a significant and pivotal stage in its life cycle within the Pokémon world. This transformation holds several key aspects of importance. The evolution from Caterpie to Metapod represents a critical stage of metamorphosis, mirroring real-world insect development. It is a natural progression that leads to further growth and adaptation. Metapod serves as a transitional form, and its most notable characteristic is its hardened exoskeleton. During this stage, Caterpie's soft and vulnerable body transforms into a tough and protective shell. This hardening process is a crucial defense mechanism. Metapod becomes nearly immobile, but its sturdy shell shields it from predators and environmental hazards. Metapod's immobility allows it to conserve energy, which is essential for the next phase of its development. While in this state, it can sustain itself on the energy reserves built up during its time as a Caterpie. The transformation into Metapod is a preparation for Caterpie's final evolution into Butterfree. Metapod retains the potential for growth and further development, and the protective shell ensures its safety during the vulnerable stage of metamorphosis. For trainers, the period when Caterpie evolves into Metapod is a valuable learning experience. It teaches trainers about the stages of Pokémon development, and encourages them to be patient and protective of their Pokémon during this vulnerable phase. The actual transformation from Caterpie to Metapod occurs through a process of metamorphosis. As Caterpie prepares to evolve, it undergoes significant physical changes. Its body begins to harden and becomes encased in a rigid, shell-like exoskeleton. Metapod becomes almost entirely immobile. It attaches itself to a tree branch or other suitable surface, relying on its protective shell for defense. Metapod effectively enters a pupa stage, where it undergoes internal changes. These changes are not immediately visible but are instrumental in its future development. The time Metapod spends in this stage can vary, but it eventually reaches a point where it is ready to undergo its final evolution. Caterpie's evolution into Metapod is a crucial phase in its life cycle. It provides increased protection, conserves energy, and prepares it for the ultimate transformation into Butterfree. This metamorphic process reflects both the real-world phenomena of insect development and the unique evolutionary mechanics of the Pokémon world. In the wild, Caterpie faces several predators and threats that pose risks to its survival. While it is not a particularly powerful or aggressive Pokémon, Caterpie has developed certain defense mechanisms and behaviors to protect itself from harm. Here are some specific predators and threats Caterpie may encounter, and how it defends itself. Caterpie faces various predators, including bird Pokémon, such as Pidgey and Spearow, bug-type Pokémon, like Paras and Venonat, and ground-based Pokémon, such as Rattata and Meowth. To avoid these threats, Caterpie often seeks refuge in trees or dense foliage, where it can hide among leaves or use its silk threads to lower itself to safety out of a predator's reach. Some Pokémon have abilities or moves that specifically target and harm bug-type Pokémon like Caterpie. In response, Caterpie may employ evasive maneuvers, using its agility and silk threads to avoid attacks. Caterpie relies on its green coloration and ability to blend in with foliage as a primary form of defense. By remaining motionless among leaves or grass, it becomes less conspicuous to potential threats. When directly threatened, Caterpie can release silk from its face or spinnerets to entangle or obstruct attackers. While this silk is not a potent offensive weapon, it can create a momentary distraction, allowing Caterpie to escape. Caterpie often clusters with other Caterpie in the wild. This group behavior can serve as a form of collective defense. When one Caterpie detects danger, it can signal the others to retreat or employ defensive measures. It's important to note that Caterpie's defense mechanisms are generally focused on evasion, concealment, and minor disruption of threats. Caterpie is not known for its combat abilities, and its primary strategy is to avoid confrontation whenever possible. Its adaptations are more geared toward survival through avoidance and stealth in its natural habitat. Caterpie plays a significant role in the Pokémon ecosystem, contributing to various ecological interactions and serving as a vital component of the food web. Here's an explanation of its role and interactions with other Pokémon species and creatures. Caterpie is primarily herbivorous, feeding on leaves and plant matter. Its role as a primary herbivore contributes to the control of vegetation in its habitat. By consuming leaves, Caterpie helps maintain plant populations and prevent overgrowth in its ecosystem. Caterpie, in its various life stages, serves as a critical food source for many Pokémon. As a young Caterpie, it is vulnerable to predation by bird-type Pokémon like Pidgey and Spearow, as well as bug-type predators like Paras and Venonat. This predation forms the basis of energy transfer in the ecosystem, sustaining higher-level predators. As Caterpie evolves into Butterfree, it gains the ability to pollinate flowers while seeking nectar. This role as a pollinator is ecologically important because it facilitates the reproduction of plant species. It ensures the genetic diversity of plants and helps maintain the balance of the ecosystem. Caterpie's interactions with other Pokémon species vary depending on the stage of its life cycle. It may form social groups or clusters with other Caterpie for protection and foraging. Additionally, it communicates with members of its own kind using silk threads, which can help coordinate group activities and responses to threats. In some cases, Caterpie may be targeted by parasitic Pokémon like Paras, which attach themselves to Caterpie and drain nutrients. This interaction highlights the complexities of predator-prey relationships within the ecosystem. Caterpie's presence in the ecosystem contributes to biodiversity. Its herbivorous diet and interactions with other species help maintain a diverse array of Pokémon in its habitat. The presence and abundance of Caterpie can serve as an indicator of the health of its habitat. A thriving Caterpie population suggests a well-balanced ecosystem with sufficient plant resources and prey availability for other Pokémon. Caterpie plays a multifaceted role in the Pokémon ecosystem. It acts as a primary herbivore, prey species, and pollinator, influencing the dynamics of the food web and contributing to the overall balance of its habitat. Its interactions with other Pokémon species and creatures are essential for the health and sustainability of the Pokémon ecosystem. Caterpie possesses several interesting evolutionary adaptations and features that help it adapt to its environment and thrive in the Pokémon world. These adaptations have evolved over time to enhance its survival and ensure the continuation of its species. Here are some of Caterpie's notable evolutionary adaptations. Caterpie has a segmented body with jointed sections. These segments provide flexibility and allow Caterpie to navigate through dense vegetation with ease. They also enable it to curl up into a tight ball when threatened, presenting a spiky and less palatable exterior to potential predators. Caterpie's green coloration allows it to blend seamlessly with leaves and foliage in its natural habitat. When Caterpie remains motionless among the vegetation, it becomes nearly invisible to potential predators, who may unknowingly pass it by. Caterpie's distinctive, bright red antennae serve as sensory organs capable of detecting subtle changes in its environment, including vibrations, temperature, and humidity. These antennae are essential for early threat detection and environmental awareness. Caterpie possesses specialized silk-producing glands within its abdomen. These glands produce a sticky and durable silk thread that serves multiple purposes. Caterpie can use its silk for constructing protective cocoons, facilitating mobility, setting traps, and communicating with other Caterpie. Caterpie is selective in its feeding habits, seeking out tender leaves that are easier to digest and offer higher nutrient content. This selective feeding behavior maximizes its energy intake from its herbivorous diet. Caterpie stores excess energy from its plant-based diet in the form of fat deposits. These energy reserves are essential during its metamorphic stages, such as when it transforms into a chrysalis and eventually a butterfree. When directly threatened by predators, Caterpie may release silk from its face to ensnare its attacker, hindering their movement and allowing Caterpie to escape. This silk acts as a defensive mechanism, providing Caterpie with a chance to evade danger. In the wild, Caterpie often forms small groups or clusters with other Caterpie. This social behavior not only provides some protection against predators but also enhances Caterpie's efficiency in finding sustenance and coordinating group activities. Caterpie's evolutionary adaptations, including its segmented body, camouflage, bright red antennae, silk-producing glands, selective feeding habits, energy storage, silk defense mechanism, and group behavior, collectively contribute to its survival and success in its natural habitat. These adaptations reflect the intricate ways in which Pokémon species have evolved to thrive in diverse environments within the Pokémon world. Caterpie, with its unique characteristics and life cycle, embodies the wonders of nature and the fascinating world of Pokémon. Its adaptations and behaviors, from its herbivorous diet to its silk-producing abilities, showcase the remarkable diversity of life in the Pokémon ecosystem. As trainers and enthusiasts learn more about Caterpie and its role in the Pokémon world, they gain a deeper appreciation for the interconnectedness of all living creatures and the importance of conservation and understanding in preserving the natural world. Thank you for watching. Please comment below what your favorite Pokémon is.